You might be familiar, I hope that you're not, with Ben Shapiro, Ted Cruz's nephew. And so he has a very, very high opinion of his own opinion. You're seeing him there. So he wanted Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who is obviously a very up and coming, very popular, inspiring figure in the Democratic Party, to debate him. Because on the right, there's trolling on Twitter, and there's challenging people to debates. That is the only thing that exists on the right now. So he wanted that. So he asked her to do that, said he would donate $10,000 to her campaign, which I have been informed apparently would be a crime because that is above the limits on campaign contributions. So thankfully she saved him from that by tweeting this. Just like catcalling, I don't owe a response to unsolicited requests from men with bad intentions. And also like catcalling, for some reason they feel entitled to one. I love that.
It's perfect.
And she has been attacked nonstop from the right because of course that's what this whole thing is. He asked her to debate him because they have set up a system where there is no outcome that does not in their mind mean that he won or they won or liberals are crying or whatever. That's the whole thing. So despite the strength of her response, the way that she slapped down this very notion, they're of course still going to claim victory.
Do you think that she should have even engaged?
I think she shouldn't have responded at all.
Yeah.
But if she's gonna respond, this is how she should. But I think it would have been better just not say anything. What do you think?
Right, and I've been thinking about it a lot, and I love this response that she gave, and I do think it's like catcalling because it is so aggressive. Especially, this is the most disgusting Indecent Proposal, by the way. Like Indecent Proposal is going to be rebooted with Ben Shapiro, like, "Hey, I'm a human wedgie who believes that the poor should be turned into fuel." Anyway, but like, and that's going to be great. Woody Harrelson, look out, buddy. But the point is like, it is like catcalling because it's super aggressive. I'm gonna give you $10,000 just like as if it's chump change one. And again, like catcalling, it's like, I want a response. I demand it. Hey, psst, hey, psst, hey, psst, hey. It's super aggressive, and you don't have to justify it with a response, but she did.
Yes.
And of course, just like all catcalling, when you respond negatively, this is what happens, and I love the reactions. Worse for you.
So of course I'm not gonna show the tweets, but there's 100 tweets like, why are you bringing up gender this? One person said, you're mocking those who have been sexually harassed. You should apologize to them. I can guarantee that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has been sexually harassed by right-wingers as a result of that exact tweet. Probably in the responses to that tweet, she was sexually harassed.
No, and that's the thing, they get even more hurt, catcallers, when you actually call them like, hey, when you turn, I mean, I've done it many times, when you look at a catcaller and you're like, hey, don't say that to me, or like, fuck you, or excuse me, or whatever, right?
That's okay, just keep going.
That they get even more hurt. They're the victim. Like, oh, I just wanted to undress you with my eyes, jerk. Like they become super fragile when they were the ones who were being aggressive in the first place.
Well, we have an example of that actually. So although the last thing that I've ever wanted is to read one of his tweets on the show, Ben Shapiro said, discussion and debate are not bad intentions. Slandering someone as a sexist catcaller without reason or evidence does demonstrate cowardice and bad intent, however. So you can tell how actually open to a reasonable conversation between the two he is. He also, he then responded to his own response to her. She had not said anything in the meantime, but he came back to it. And he said something to the effect of, and to quote him, how could you accuse an Orthodox Jew of catcalling someone? Maybe it never has happened, I don't know. I don't think that makes you immune to any sort of charges of sexism.
Well, to be honest, I mean, like the amount of strict, like some Orthodox Jews, like they live within the catcall. Like that's what a very patriarchal, very like religiously, conservative, like sect of a religion is. You live inside the catcall.
Bear in mind, these challenges are coming from people who are not politicians. They have no political authority. She has literally no reason to engage in it.
Run in her district.
Yeah, run if you want to debate her.
You're so irrelevant. I'm sorry. Like.
So,
anyway.
But let's contribute to that by not talking about this individual person again. But I do want to talk about the debate thing, or what I consider the fetishizing of debate on the right, and not the right entirely, but like young people on the right. Like if you're between 15 and 32 and a half, there is nothing more important than debating people. And the reason is that the people who went through their teens and they moved into that section of the conservative movement, the alt-right, whatever, they're the kids in class, like picking fights, raising their hands and stuff like that. They're the one. Here's the thing.
I debated them. I really debated them in class.
When I was younger, I might have been interested in that.
Sure.
The thing is that
then we graduated. Exactly.
Yes.
Then but I get it. Listen, like Ben Shapiro fans, I said this on Twitter, I'll say it again. I saw all the little fans waiting outside of Politicon, waiting for Ben to destroy Cenk, and it's all about destroying, and we're just gonna, of course, this isn't really conducive to anything. People are walking in there with their same opinions about really basic things. And this is what I'm like, in terms of debating, not only is Ben Shapiro not a politician, is not running for anything, is not in her district, doesn't sort of register on Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's radar, but on top of that, comes from a different planet, is literally on planet me, myself, and I, planet money, planet like, I don't know why we have to take care of, the sick. Let them cough, just not on me. Like that's, so you go into these debates, these little kids, and I get it. Like I was there too. I was really into like Noam Chomsky and stuff, and I went and listened to his things. I was also really into other things like jam bands. But I got better. You know what I'm saying? Like we all grow out of it.
I've never heard that comparison before.
It's nothing but white privileged dudes just jamming out forever, and you're like, this is good, right? Yeah, this is music. I want to dance. Same thing with like libertarian ideology and Ben Shapiro. Like, yeah, this makes sense. This makes sense. And then you turn 20 and you're like, oh.
Yeah, or you start a right-wing blog. And you continue like Peter Pan. So look,
have you been challenged to a debate?
I mean, I get tweets all the time, and I understand there are people that I like that have been in these sorts of debates. And understand, I'm not really talking about actual academics debating or politicians debating. I think that is for the most part also a waste of time, but for different reasons. I'm talking about pundit debates. These high-profile things where people rally their supporters who will never disagree with them ever on anything to attack the other side, and this is on both sides. So I think this is far more common on the right, but there are people on the left who do it too. My main issue is I'm not saying that you can't have these or that you shouldn't have these, but I think you should be honest about why you want to have these sorts of debates. It is in no way an intellectual exercise. It is in no way a philosophical exercise. It is in no way a moral exercise. It is a self-aggrandizing, performative, masturbatory act. That is what it is. You stand up and you attempt to destroy the other side so that the people who would never question you cheer. The other side will never be persuaded by you. And this is true of whether you're on the left or right.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was I not?
Please just continue it.
Sorry.
Continue it. You
got
have
really
never destroyed anyone, and this is going to people on the left and the right. You've never eviscerated anyone, you've never destroyed anyone in any way that is actually substantive. The day after you destroy them, they keep doing their job. They don't suddenly flee the internet, they don't step down from their positions, they don't cancel their podcast. It just keeps going on.
No, they lie in bed and they think, hey honey, maybe like healthcare is a human right.
Yeah.
Did you ever?
Yeah, maybe Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez would say something, and he would change his mind.
They put all their human thoughts into a little box, and they're like, I kind of agreed with Alexandria on that one thing. Goodbye.
That's the best that we could hope for.
Yeah.
And you're not going to stop them from doing what they're doing. The best you can hope for is that you will turn off people in the middle that will see it and think, I don't want to be a part of this anymore, and you cause more people to move out of the system. That is the best possible outcome. There are people, classically, you read about them in Greece and in Rome, that engaged in debates, and I think that if those classic thinkers could see what debate has become in the modern day, they would never have popularized the notion in the first place, because it is a gigantic waste of time that only produces some cheap lulls on either side and maybe a book deal or higher speaking fees for them.
Or maybe Socrates was all about the cheap lulls. Like
maybe he was a troll.
This is making me rethink ancient Greece.
Anyway, so look, you can enjoy these debates. You can take part in them if you think that they're fun, and if you take part in them, you might get more social media following or some sort of deal or something like that. But let's not pretend that it's maybe. You want to debate me?
Yeah.
Debate me, bro. But let's not pretend that it's an intellectual thing. Thank you so much for watching this video from The Damage Report. Please don't forget to like the video and also to subscribe to the channel so that you get notified as soon as new videos become available. To hear even more about both this topic and other issues not being covered nearly enough by the mainstream media, you're gonna wanna tune in every morning to our full hour-long show. That's at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, available on the TYT Network channel on YouTube TV.